All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Karkadash. All praises to the war cause God, whose true name in the Hebrews, Yahweh, by Hashem meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai being the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful like preaching his word and truth and sincerity on the brother Tazabah and the great millstone Arizona camp. Lord well with another video to edify. And right, I wanted to touch on one of the points that the Apostle Ramlab had made in this video, and hey, it's something that I was kind of planning on doing that kind of got pushed to the back burner. But the Spirit brought it back up. I got some precepts together, so Lord, well, this be edifying. Listen to what he say.
From South Carolina, so sometimes they do, lives together. Go into a live dealing with all of these crimes committed by so-called Christians, from the P to the E to the D to the O's to the murders to the adultery to whatever information comes up, and let's see what outweighs what. Do the Hebrew Israelites committing crime outweigh the Christians committing crime, or what the case, or what is the case, and why is it that they never speak about those things? I thought that would be a good lesson to go into, but like I said, I've been trying to hit them up, and I just kept forgetting. So maybe that could be the spirit of not. But if the spirit hits them to do that, I know there's a lot of juicy articles out there that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that these Christians that are demons are committing all types of crimes, out there.
So, like the elder said, man, right? Basically, go into the crimes that Christians have done. Now, they put out so many movies. Look at this. It says, sort by popularity, most popular movies and TV shows tagged with keyword pedophile priest. Now, this one, Spotlight, me and my woman watched this some years back, and this is a good one. It's based on a true story how all these Boston priests sitting here molesting these kids who their parents let these little niggas get around these weirdos in these churches, and nobody had anything to say, man. Nobody had anything to say. Now, not only that, but this whole topic ties into the scriptures easily, because this was a question, right, in the book of Ezra's that the Apostle Ramlab had stated, right? So peep this. This is 2nd Ezra 3 and 34. It says, I started 33. It says, yet there were 32. Is there any people that knoweth thee besides Israel? Or what generation has so believed thy covenants as Jacob, and yet their reward appeared not, and their labor had no fruit? For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth and think not upon thy commandments. And this is, hey, for Christians, is the top of the charts. Right? They flow in wealth and they don't think about the commandments of the Lord. Right? Here it is, Christians sitting here. The Christian church, right, made it, the doctrine of how does it go? It's basically the Christian church put out the decree: if you go into a land and they're not Christians there already, it's your God-given right to take the land. Well, the scriptures talk about not removing the landmarks. These heathen don't graft on any part of the scriptures, man. They just paint themselves up in a positive light, and they do whatever comes to their mind. This is why the scripture tell you, what have you to do with me, O Edom? The casting my word behind their back. Let me get it. This is where is it at? Yeah, Psalms 50. Go back to that 2nd Ezra. Psalms 50 and 17. Seeing thou hatest instruction, Right? I'm gonna start up. It says, verse 16, but unto the wicked but unto the wicked the Most High saith, what had thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Right? These devils have no right to sit here and actually go into the scriptures, man, because look at what they do. And then they'll paint themselves as being God-fearing people in a God-fearing nation. But here it is, you have pedophile priests walking the streets, man, making whole movies about it. Right? And somehow the Pope is still at the head of this thing. And all this stuff is running rapid within his organization. And the scriptures tell you, as is the king, so are the people. As is the ruler, so are the people. So how in the hell do you think it's just something, a problem at the bottom? All them popes are doing this stuff, man. I was listening to the elder your your Wyatt Crom. I can't ever say his name right, but the elder out there in London in the UK, he was talking about how he saw some documentary where these people were sitting there. These priests were sitting there with busting these little choir boys' mouth and got video recording of them saying that they should wash their mouth out with holy water. This is the wickedness of these Christians, man. Right? It says, seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth my word behind thee. Right? These people don't look at the word of the Lord as something to fucking follow. They look at the word of the Lord as a suggestion, but they're the rulers of destiny, so they can make up the rules. The second is 3:34. It says, weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and theirs also that dwell in the world, and so shall their name nowhere be found but in Israel. And that's what's happening, man. The Lord is making us to sit here and compare the two. Right? This is what people are doing, man. Especially with this whole Kanye West stuff coming out, man. Now they're sitting there weighing the balances. Now people are sitting here actually delving out and looking at these devils and scrutinizing them. Right? Because the scriptures tell you there's going to be an inquisition. Right? Let me find that precept. It says, yeah, here it is. Psalms, Wisdom of Solomon 1 and for started it says, therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid. Neither shall vengeance when it punisheth pass by him. For inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly. And that's what's happening, man. This is an inquisition into the counsel of the ungodly, man. We're gonna go into his wickedness. Right? So under the guise of Christianity, right? Under the guise of Christianity, let's look into some of the things that Christianity has promoted. My stuff want to work properly, man. All right, let's see. See, here it is. This is some of the stuff I had pulled up earlier when I was Googling stuff. So how many wars from Western civilization? And Western civilization for the longest time was to be considered a a Christian world, right? Right. It says what major events occurred in Western civilization: ancient Greece, Roman civilization, the rise of Christianity, Middle Ages, Protestant Reformation, Renaissance, European colonization, African slave trade. These are all aspects of the Edomite rule, right? Now, when you go deep into this, let me see if this is it. This goes into global war. Man, I really wish I would have held some of these, right? But under all these rules and under all this, in total, all these wars under Western civilization have been nonstop. because the scriptures told you that this devil, right, would take peace from the earth in the book of Revelation. Move this down. Let's get some other stuff. What else that? But it says, wars from Western civilization, deaths on the Trail of Tears. Now, in that time, wasn't all America a Christian civilization, right? Now, here it is, death on the Trail of Tears. It says at least 3,000 Native Americans died on the Trail of Tears, right? And you know it was more. It says frontiersman Davy Crockett, and these devils sing songs to him, man. They was singing songs to this devil when I was a kid, right? Watching the Disney Channel. Davy Crockett, right? It says whose grandparents were killed by Creeks and Cherokees, was a scout for Andrew Jackson during the Creek War, 1813 to 1814. However, while serving as a U.S. congressman from Tennessee, Crockett broke with President Jackson over the Indian Removal Act, calling it unjust, despite warnings from warnings that his opposition to Indian removal would cost him his seat in Congress. Right? Let me jump down on this. Here it is. Martin Van Buren ordered the roundup of the Cherokees during the two terms in the White House from 1829 to 1837. Andrew Jackson was responsible for putting Indian removal policies in place. However, he left office before the 1838 deadline when the Cherokees for the Cherokees to surrender their lands in the East. Now, isn't that against the scriptures? Removing the landmarks, making them surrender their own lands. It was Jackson's presidential successor, Martin Van Buren, who ordered General Winfield Scott to forcibly evict the Cherokees. Scott troops rounded up thousands of Cherokees and then imprisoned them in forts in Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Alabama. During those roundups, the Indians weren't given time to pack, and family members, including children, sometimes got left behind if they weren't home when the soldiers showed up. The Indians were transferred from forts from the forts to detention camps, most of them in Tennessee, to await deportation. About at both forts and camps, living conditions were bleak and disease rampant, and an unknown number of Cherokees died. So they're sitting there saying 3,000, but really, it's scores of them, man. These devils were putting us to death indiscriminately, man. Right? This was their religion, to see a Jade die, man. These devils, and this is under Christianity, man. All this is under Christianity. Right? America was considered the Christian world. Right? So look, this is deaths during the Iraq War, still under the Christian world. This is when, hey, their thing was this is a God given country, right? And we have to do God's work out there and free those people. Now, under the casualties of the Iraq War, right? Estimates of casualties. Come on now, I ain't giving y'all no money. Estimates of the casualties from Iraq War, beginning with the 2003 invasion of Iraq and the ensuing occupation and insurgency and civil war, have some several forms have some several forms, and those estimates to of different types of Iraq war casualties vary greatly, right? It says estimated war related deaths posed many challenges. Experts distinguish between population based studies, which extrapolate from random samples of the population, the body counts, and the tally reported deaths, and likely significant underestimates casualties. Population based studies produce estimates of the number of Iraqi war casualties ranging from 151,000 violent deaths as of June 2006 per the Iraq Family Health Survey to 1,333,000 excess deaths per the 2007 Opinion Research Business uh, ORB survey. Other surveys based studies covering different time spans find that 461,000 total deaths, over 60% of them violent, as of June 2011. These devils have been just racking up numbers, man. Racking up numbers. And you try to equate the Israelites somehow to these numbers, but you have nothing to say about the Christians, right? This is death during World War II, right? And what you got to understand, man, is Jake, they're right. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native American, their means for destruction is localized and is usually self-internalized. Man, it's only on their own people for the vast majority of it. But Esau, you go from sea to sea, destroying niggas, man. When you talk about the war on drugs, well, how come all this stuff comes out on the war of drugs, right? And all this stuff comes out on the CIA shipping in these drugs in the country, but y'all still sit here and point the finger at the niggas selling the drugs person to person, but you never point the finger at these niggas that was shipping in the fucking pounds by the millions, right? Funding other wars that they wanted to do. So they destroyed niggas at home and then they destroyed niggas abroad. This is how Esau does. The scriptures tell you he is his death and his hell. Now, this is as deaths during World War II. This is another example of Esau and his Christian empire, right? And the effects of it. Estimates for the total death count of the Second World War generally range somewhere between 70 and 85 million people. The Soviet Union suffered the highest number of fatalities of any single nation, with estimates mostly falling between 22 and 27 million deaths. Right? This is under a Christian rule and a Christian reign. Right? There's you can even go into, here it is. Let me see, the devastation at the end of the Spanish Inquisition death toll, right? It says estimates of a number. It says estimates of the number killed by Spanish Inquisition, with Sextus, the what is that? The fifth authorized a papal bull in 1478, have ranged from 30,000 to 300,000. Some historians are convinced that millions died, and millions did die. This is what happens when Christianity is set in a place where they can rule. So you got to look at these things and really scrutinize these devils, man. And it goes back to the scriptures, man. Weigh now our iniquity and theirs in a balance, right? There's an inquisition being made into the counsel of the godly, and the sound of his words shall come into unto Yahweh for the manifestation of his wicked deeds. And this is what the testimony is about. It's about pointing the finger, right? Shake the hand, right? Let me get it. This is man, what is that precept? Because the scriptures tell you that we will shake the finger at these devils, man, point out all their wickedness, man. Forgetting how the precept goes, man. If brothers know it, man, put it in the comment section. But we keep going in this lesson, man. It's Proverbs 12 and 26. It says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the wicked seduces them. Right? So even though Jake will sit here and do these wicked ass things, like, niggas in Chicago, like Esau loves to bring up, that shit is localized, man. right? We learned that from these devils. But we understand that the way these devils are built, they do debaucherous things, man. I have a playlist on my thing called E's Wickedness of Esau, right? And this video right here.
Has a woman ever lied to you, burned you, cheated on you, ghosted on you, made you feel made this complaint about getting
This video goes in. This dude was an ex detective, and he would go into those child trafficking, child abuse cases. And he even says on here, there's a lot of these people that are in these higher up positions that they can't even touch. You have all the information, you have everything, and you can't do anything. He tells you that a lot of these people that work in these positions and detect these units, they'll have to watch all this debaucherous stuff so they can put out the judgment on these people. And then they get to court and they can't do anything. So they turn to drinking and alcohol because they're afraid for the kids. They know they can't do nothing if these devils decide to do anything. Man, hey, if brothers get a chance, man, watch this, bro. Hey, it goes deep. And this is what happens when you damn devils are in rulership, man. Wickedness ensues, bro. This Habakkuk 2 and 4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Right? Right? And that's what's happening. These devils' soul which is lifted up is not upright, man. Listen to what some of this stuff that this dude says. You just get a little bit.
of alcoholism.
You're just getting used.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, you know, you turn to alcohol, and of course, when it all goes wrong, they turn around and say you're an alcoholic. Now, what I've done is this doctor that the police were using, and they were paying him a lot of money, and then I let her have it. And I was meant to have a meeting, me and her, one on one. And I went in there. There was 9 women. She was like the queen bee around this desk, you know, these 9 women. And I recognised a couple of them, and I know that they were both lesbians. What you make of that, whatever, that it's just not homophobic rant at all, right? And I thought, I've had enough of this. This is just wrong. This is meant to be me relaying my message to her, how prevalent this is. And I said exactly what you've just gone on about. I said, listen, I can go into a children's home. I can get a dysfunctional young girl. I can groom that girl. I can give her that attention she's never had, and that girl will think I'm her boyfriend. I will then have sex with that little girl, right? And then I'll get my mate to have sex with her. And then we will take her and we will trade her every night, making money out of her as well as having sex with her herself. We will then get her friends involved, and you have not employed one dedicated officer to deal with it. But if I was to lean over my fence and call my neighbour and I said something quite derogatory, right? I said, you would have every unit down. I'll be nicked. I'll be banged up. I'll be in court by the morning. I'll be out of the house. The local authority will come on top of me, and I'll be on a register as well by the end of the week. How is that what society deserves? And she had nothing to say. And what upset me more was that I turned round, and when I said this racist word, and I'm not like that, it was proving a point. Someone drew a sharp intake of breath. And I said, I've just been speaking about having sex with young girls, and no one blinked. Yet I say that, and you're shocked. And this is a
You see? He knows what goes on. So you see that this is what Esau pushed up, man. These devil souls are not upright in them, man. Right? This is why book of Habakkuk, not Habakkuk, but Hebrews tells you this about Esau. Hebrews 12 and 16 says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for more and more so meat sold his birthright. Man, this devil is profane. When you go into that word profane, it means outside of the temple. Right? This nigga is just out in left field somewhere, man. Everything he does is wickedness. Right? And all you see and all you experience in this world is how bad it gets, man. And if you get caught out there, Right? A lot of these Jake kids that go missing, man, it's because these devils go pick them up. And they take them places, man. This is why you had your Jeffrey Epsteins with their pedo islands. But nobody is talking about that anymore. Now it's Kanye West and Kyrie Irving is the worst things walking on the face of earth. And soon to be, they're gonna label the Israelites in that whole shit as well. Right? But the Lord is the one, he's gonna have the last say in this stuff, man. And this is why you devils are gonna get destroyed. Right? This is Wisdom of Solomon 3. It's got a few more precepts, man. I'm gonna close this out. Wisdom of Solomon 3. And 10, it says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which which have neglected the righteous and forsaken Yahweh. Right? So the ungodly is gonna be punished, man. All you wicked ass devils, man. And the scriptures tell you in the book of in the prayer of Azariah, 1 and 9. Let me get that. Tells you right here, it says, and thou didst deliver us into the hand of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, into an unjust king, in the most wicked in all the world. And that's who we're in the hands of. This is why you can see who the Lord delivered the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans to. You can see this is the worst nigga on the face of the earth, man. Right? This is why the Lord has to come and punish these devils, because leave it up to them, man. This world is going to be freaky. And it's already getting worse by the day. Right? Man, on this one. This is Sirach 16:6. It says, in the congregation of the godly shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire. He is not pacified toward the old giants who fell away in the strength of their fullness, neither spared he the place where Lot sojourned, but abhorred them for their pride. He pitied not the people of perdition who were taken away in their sins, nor the 600 footmen, nor the 600,000 footmen who were gathered together in the hardness of their hearts. You see, the Lord is going to sit here and get all the wicked of this earth. And this is why you devils are going to be put down, man. Right? The congregation of the ungodly, man, you devils are not going to stand in these last days, man. The Lord is going to put out a judgment. Right? So Lord willing to edify them and say, call Allah, Yahweh Shem, Shabbat, Shem, Shalom.